Hey everyone, Christopher Ruocchio here of Sun Eater, back with another monthly update video. This for March of 2024. And as of the release of this video, we are now under 1 month between now and the release of Disquiet Gods, which is of course book 6 in the Sun Eater series that is coming out on April 2nd. And I actually, as I'm sure a few of you have seen, got my copies of the books here in the office just a couple of days ago now, and they look great. There are a couple minor differences from the DAW editions. Of course, for those who don't know, we changed publishers in order to sort of preserve the integrity of the end of the series. The Bane books are about 1/4 of an inch taller, so they are not going to be an exact match on your shelf. There's some spacing of the elements on the spine. It's a little bit different, and the jackets are gloss and not matte, but on the inside they are virtually identical. Fonts, styling, all of that stuff is exactly the same. I am very happy with it. This is as close a match as I've ever seen between two publishers. I know for the very OCD among you book collectors, of whom I am one, this is not the perfect solution. The perfect solution, of course, will be to grab one of the collector's editions later this year. More on those in a minute. But as far as it goes, they look really great. They do at least look like they belong together, which is very good. I am very happy with the result. A big thank you to Bane Books for putting up with all of my nitpicking and whining, with the goal of getting these books to all look like they belong. Very proud of Disquiet Gods. It, as many of you will know, was a pain in the neck to write. It took longer to write this book than it did to write any of the other ones, including the original version of Kingdoms of Death, which was a little bit longer. This is a very complicated book. We're, of course, nearing the end of the series, and there are a lot of things happening, a lot of parts moving, but it is done, and I am very happy about that. Now, you can actually read Disquiet Gods here, now, and today. If you look down in the description, I posted a link to where you can get the early access advanced reading copy of Disquiet Gods direct from Bane.com. Bane Books, the publisher, is the only science fiction fantasy publisher, to my knowledge, that makes their advanced reading copies available in something like an early access program. So for $15, you can read the book early today. I know a bunch of you already have. But, of course, you can just wait until the release of the book on April 2nd. Now, if you want to get a signed copy of Disquiet Gods, the thing to do is going to be to go to another link in the description, to quailridgebooks.com, and order your hardcover from them. There is a comment section during checkout. Fill out the comment section saying, hey, I would like Christopher to sign my book. And please, if you would like it personalized, please say how you would like it personalized, to Stephen, to Stephanie, if you want a little quote or something. Try to keep it short. We're talking like 4 or 5 words. Because anything longer than that is really going to start to mess up your title page. It's not going to be very attractive. And, please don't ask me to pick a quote, because I won't do it. It's too hard if I'm signing hundreds at once to sort of think off the cuff like that. So if you could please kindly be as specific as you want, within reason, I will personalize the book to your requests. I think probably once book 7 is done, once the series is done, we're gonna stop doing that, and I will just be signing books at these events instead of doing stuff, because it's starting to be too many to do in one sitting, and that can be a little tough. But you can get your signed copy from quailridgebooks.com at the link in the description. And if you are in or near my home here in Raleigh, North Carolina, you want to come out to Quail Ridge Books on April 4th. That is a Thursday at 7 p.m. I will be there live and in color. And in person, signing, reading from the book, taking questions. It'll be a great time. I've done an event there at Quail Ridge Books for the release of all of the books, going all the way back to Empire of Silence, and it's something I intend to do moving forward indefinitely. So I hope that I will be able to see some of you there. I know a few of you told me that you will be there, so I am glad to know I won't be preaching to an empty room. So that'll be cool. But I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. I'm sure it'll be a good evening. A link to the event is also in the description down below. You can buy a ticket for the event. You don't really need to do that. You can walk into the store. There will be seats. It will be fine. The tickets really just let them know approximately how many chairs they need to set out. And if you buy a ticket, you are buying the book, really, is what you're buying. They know how many books to order as well. Because when you go to an author signing in a bookstore, the polite thing to do is to buy the new book from the store in question and not to bring it in from outside. But if you want to bring your backlist, if you want to bring your collection, I will sign all of your books. I only ask that if you have a box full of everything, that you go to the back of the line. I promise I will stay and I will sign for everybody who is there. So I very much look forward to seeing everybody on April 4th, Thursday, 7 p.m. at Quail Ridge Books here in Raleigh for the release of Disquiet Gods. Now, what am I working on? Well, of course, the answer to that question is that I am working on Book 7, the final book in the Sun Eater series. But I actually have not really been working on it for most of the last month because I had a lot of short story obligations that I owed to various people, to various outlets that I needed to get out of the way. And so I spent almost 4 weeks working on those. The first of those stories is called The Fangs of Owanos. And The Fangs of Owanos is sort of a prequel story to Disquiet Gods. It's part of sort of a set of Hadrian on Jod stories. It includes Daughter of Swords and The Royal Game. This is sort of the third one in that collection, although it takes place a little bit before Daughter of Swords. And it will be appearing for free on Baen.com in just about a week from now. I'll be posting links to that when it becomes available. This is a super fun story. It's on the longer side, so if you're looking for something you can kind of sink your teeth into, it's a big 3-chapter little novelette. And it details Hadrian negotiating an assassination plot at the Jadian court. Very, very fun story. I had a blast writing it. The villain in the piece is really one of my favorite characters, actually. I was really, really having a good time with that character, and it's sort of sad to see him go. But, I don't have any plans to revisit this particular arc. The second story I won't say much about, but it will be appearing in Galaxy Magazine later this year. I won't even say the title because the title is a little bit of a spoiler. Once you read it, you'll know why. But you want to keep an eye out for the first issue of the relaunched Galaxy Magazine, as in like the Galaxy Magazine, the pulp magazine from back in the day. It is coming back, and I have a story in the first issue, which is very, very cool. So more on that as the year goes on. Don't have a date quite ready for that just yet, but very, very excited about the story. Of the three, it is the one I'm most excited about, and I cannot wait for you all to read it. The third story is called The Prince of Man, and it is going in the Anderida Books edition of The Murdered Son, which is going to be the next in our line of collector's editions from Anderida Books. That story is another sort of guidance story. It is not canon, so to speak. It is sort of in the vein of the Pits of Emesh, if you've read that story. It is not historically accurate, but it was really fun to write. And I think that you reading it will feel appropriately trolled. It was a great story, but I cannot wait to see everybody's reaction to that story. It was really a blast to write. But I am back to work now on Book 7, which is more than a quarter complete already, which is the good news. The bad news, of course, is that I didn't work on it for pretty much all of February, but I am back to it now with a vengeance. By the end of the month, I expect I'll be around the 1/3 mark. I'm writing a very exciting chapter at the moment. I'm in chapter 21 of Book 7, and there are currently 73 chapters in the outline, so that gives you sense. I am closing in on the 3rd mark. And my best estimate is that I will be done with the book around late August, early September. I will have to take a couple breaks further into the year for some more short stories. I'm going to need to do a backup story for the Diamond edition of Howling Dark and for the Anderida Books edition of Empire of Silence, as well as probably one other short project somewhere in there. So I'll lose a little bit of time working on those. But it won't be for a few months. The next one that I owe is probably the Diamond Edition story, and that's not going to be until midsummer. So I've got a long, uninterrupted stretch of work on Book 7 to come. Obviously, we are sort of moving toward the final battle, the much talked about since page 1 of Empire of Silence, final battle of the series. So the pressure is on. But I'm very happy with Book 7 so far. It's been mostly going very, very well. There's a little bit of a rough patch in January, but things have been moving smoothly again here as we move into March. And I am very pleased with how things are going. But of course, writing is not all that I am doing. As you will recall from the last couple of update videos, I am in the process of updating my indie titles, my novellas, my short story collections. I, of course, remastered and had new cover art done for Tales of the Sun Eater Volume 1. Last month, James Cook did a awesome new cover for Tales 1 and had that re-edited and retypeset so the table of contents actually works. We will be doing Tales 2 later in the year, but right now, John Barry Ballaran, who did the cover for The Dregs of Empire, the Amazon version, the paperback and the the hardcover you can get from there. He is currently working on the cover for Queen of Mid-Ashes, and he has been for a while because this piece is amazing. I think this cover is so cool, and I cannot wait to show everybody. It is a full wraparound like Dregs was, but unlike Dregs, the back has a lot going on artistically. There's a lot of elements. There's a bit of a battle scene. It is very cool. So John is very nearly done. In fact, probably by the time this update comes out, I will have the final. He said it would be any day now. Thought it would be Friday. It is currently Sunday as I'm recording this. You'll probably hear this on the 4th. If you don't, it'll be the 5th. It's very likely I have the cover by then. And you will be seeing it very soon. As soon as I can get it loaded into Amazon and get the new interiors loaded in on Amazon, things will be ready to roll. It will be brought up to the standards of the new release of Dregs. The text has been edited as well, with special thanks to King Crusoe of King Crusoe, the booktuber. He has been doing an excellent job helping me recopy, edit, reproofread these books. And the typesetting is taken over by the folks who did the typesetting for the collector's editions. So they're much nicer than those first edition paperbacks. We'll just sort of be updating the look there. So that should be out this month. There'll be a new version of Queen of Mid-Ashes in print-on-demand hardcover and in trade paperback. The ebook is also getting a facelift. And I think the new cover will actually be applied to the audiobook as well, since I control the rights to the cover art in question. So that is very exciting. We will be doing an improved version of Lesser Devil later in the year as well, but probably much later in the year because, of course, working on collector's editions as well. James L. Cook, who's doing the new covers for the Tales ebooks, is doing the covers for the Diamond editions, and we are starting production on Howling Dark. But before I talk about that, I know that Empire of Silence is taking a very long time to get to everybody, and I know there are a few people who back the Kickstarter who are getting frustrated, and to those people, I apologize. It has just been a more complicated process than I knew. Right? I didn't know what I was getting into when we started. We had some delays from the artist. We had some delays from the calligrapher. There were a couple questions about cover layout and stuff that Jenna and I wrestled with for longer than we probably should have, but I think we've arrived at a cover design that is especially beautiful. I think everyone will find that it will have been worth the wait when the book gets here. But now, of course, the book is finished. It is at the printer. It's just there's some guy called Brandon Sanderson whose books are gumming up the works because we're using the same bindery, the same printer as Dragonsteel, and as I understand it, Words of Radiance exists and is sort of in the way. And I thought that we would have the books about 2 weeks ago, and that has just not proved the case. But if you got a poster, those posters are printed, they are being cut. I should have them in the next week or so, and those will be on their way very soon. God willing, and we're going to try and make up for lost time. But because we do not want to be slowed down over much by the delays on Empire of Silence, Steve and I have gotten started on Howling Dark. Now, I have a list of proofreading notes that I am working through to clean up the book before I do my reread. I'm going to be rereading Howling Dark soon and making adjustments to the text. James Cook is currently working on the cover art for the Howling Dark Diamond Edition. I've seen thumbnails already, and this is going to be so cool. I cannot wait to reveal the new cover. It's going to be awesome. Once that's done, James is going to be working on the end papers and the full-color frontispieces. There are 2 frontispieces. There's one for the numbered edition. There's one for the lettered edition, same as with Empire of Silence. And John Barry Ballaran, who is doing the novellas, is going to take over doing the black and white interior work as soon as he finishes Queen of Mid-Ashes, which should be in this week. He will be moving into the black and white interiors for Howling Dark. We're going to do approximately 3 a month for the next couple months until everything is finished. And I will be reaching out to previous art sponsors and to folks who had previously asked me about art sponsorships so that we can get rolling on those. But the Howling Dark Diamond Edition will not, under any circumstances, be going up for pre-order until Book 1 is shipped and fulfilled. I'm not going to be one of those people who gets 3 campaigns deep. No, not happening. And of course, Howling Dark is not going to Kickstarter at all. Steve Diamond is getting together a website for his new company for Diamond Editions, and the books will be sold directly from Steve. If you purchased the Empire of Silence Diamond Edition, you will have a month to claim sort of your pre-order basically on Howling Dark. You have first dibs. If we have any unclaimed copies at the end of that month period, then they will go on sale, and they will go on sale without prejudice. So they will be first come, first serve at the end of that first month. When we do go live, which we're hoping will be like around May, maybe June. Howling Dark will be revealed and will go on sale. But we don't have a firm date yet because we are dependent on the release of Book 1. I am not getting into Book 2. I'm trying to sell that until we make good on our promises on Book 1. But of course, the Diamond Editions are not the only special editions in production. Of course, I know people were very frustrated that there were only 1,000 Diamond Editions available. I also am very frustrated by this. I would have loved to be able to dole out more. It may be possible in the future that we get to be able to dole out more. But there is another, to quote Yoda. And Derrida Books, of course, who I've been working with for a long time. We've done The Lesser Devil and Other Stories, Queen of Ashes and Other Stories, and The Dregs of Empire and Other Stories. And I are working on a run of the whole series. But before we do that, we're going to release The Murdered Sun. And The Murdered Sun is the original draft of Empire of Silence, if you've not heard me talk about this before. It is much shorter. It is much different. That is all done. I've written the backup story for it. I've written the introduction for that. The text is ready. It has been edited. It is going to be proofread very soon, the complete manuscript. And the cover art is done. Kieran Yanner, who does the art for the main series, who's done the art for the previous Derrida Books editions, has done the cover art for The Murdered Sun. And assuming everything goes according to plan, that will be out in the summer. If you have been buying Derrida Books so far, you will have first dibs in the same way. There will be, I believe, 750 of those. And then later in the year, probably right around Christmas, Empire of Silence will go on sale from Derrida Books. That is going to be very exciting because that will have a different story in the back. It won't be the same story that the Diamond Edition has. So, in the same way that, Pokemon has some Pokemon in red version and some Pokemon in blue version, you have to trade. There's going to be one story in the Diamond Editions. There's going to be one story in the Derrida Books editions. They will eventually be available for folks who did not get in on the Collector's Editions, but if you bought a Collector's Edition, you get to read the story first. I'm not trying to incentivize you to buy both. But I'm trying to differently reward people who get one or the other. The Derrida Books edition is going to have a full wraparound cover by Kieran Yanner, as well as some interior illustrations. And Kieran is actually starting work on the cover for the new edition of Empire of Silence this week. So I should actually have that art by the end of the month or so, and Derrida Books should have that art by the end of the month or so, I should say. And that will be available for pre-order by the end of the year, is the plan. Do not have a date for that yet. I just want you to know if you missed out on the Diamond Edition, there is going to be another equally amazing collector's edition of Empire of Silence available for sale by the end of the year. But the way to get it is to get in on Derrida Books when The Murdered Sun comes out. So do keep your eyes peeled for that. That basically is everything that's going on, as if that wasn't enough. Things have been very, very busy here. I'm very glad to have somewhat cleared my decks and to be able to focus on Book 7 again. There are, of course, other things going on. There are secret projects. I just want to remind everybody that there's more than one secret project in the offing. Been hard at work on that, too. Been taking up a lot of brain space. And I can't wait for them to eventually be revealed. I thought the first one was going to have been revealed by now, but there was some change in plans, some change in timelines, and it's going to be a little bit before we see anything from either of those secret projects. So just know that they are out there in the ether, in the future, waiting for you, but they're a ways away. So, like the distant suns, you will come to them in time. You just have to freeze yourself and keep sailing. We'll get there eventually. But that officially about does it for now. I will basically see you all when Disquiet Gods comes out. The next update will be for April, and I expect that it might get a little bit delayed because there's a new book out on April 2nd. So just to remind everybody, if you want to pre-order Disquiet Gods, there's a link down in the description below. You can pre-order a signed copy from Quail Ridge Books. Come and see me, Quail Ridge Books, on April 4th at 7 p.m. You can also read Disquiet Gods right now. Buy the early access copy from Bane Books. The links to all of that is in the description down below. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Godspeed.